We're going to always find a reason for why we are not where we want to be yet, not because it's a normal thing, but because we have this false narrative and false reality that things are supposed to happen that way. And this is why we say that people are not willing to get to where they want to get. It's not because they don't have what it takes, but it's because they have created this parallel society in their mind, and they think that somehow it's going to be different for them. But when life just happened to be lifing, this is when things just doesn't go well, and it feels like shit. And this is normal that it feels like shit, because when we see like so many people have so much success, this is when we feel like something is not right with us. And this is where people actually use those emotions and this dissonance to make sure that, you know, you kind of tie yourself to them so that they can use you for their own gains. So as an example, and I have two, I have one which will be based on, you know, people selling you the $1 million dream, and I have one based on, as an example, becoming a music artist. So as an example, you have artists that are doing and making music that, you know, have their dreams of actually becoming a full-on artist, and that they can have, you know, shows and make music and do their own music and write their own songs and meet fans and have like this story that we have about what a successful singer looks like and is like, and what, you know, success looks like as a singer and as, you know, someone who's a performer. And so they have like this naiveness that is also a really cool thing to have, because you have like plenty of creativity and all of that. So being a naive person or having like those dreams and desires is not a bad thing. It's just that people will use it if you kind of put your naiveness into people's hands. And so what some producers will do is they will approach you and be like, yeah, I can make your dreams come true. If you give me the rights to your music, I'm going to make sure that you're going to be on every platform and, you know, get your music out there and all that stuff. And so they sell you that dream. And so once that you are in a contract and that you cannot get away, they kind of take your rights away. And so it's like, oh no, I don't want this song to be on this album, you cannot put this song out. Or it will be something like, you're not ready yet, so we're not going to launch it. Or maybe you're not performing enough, and so we don't want to inject more money into this project and whatever. And so you just realize that you had like this glamorization of what success looks like, but idealization of what success looks like. And now that you are on your way of becoming it, it doesn't feel the same, because of course someone kind of like took what you wanted and your dreams and being like, you're mine now, your dreams are mine, and so you're supposed to be and do exactly as I say. And this is when you feel and you become trapped. Another example could be actually, and I think that we saw that a lot. We saw that with Taylor Swift, we saw that with Kesha, we saw that with a bunch of artists that, you know, had a lot of issues with their labels because they just use and squeeze everything that they have for their own, you know, benefits. And this is what the world is like at the end. And so even though they might have achieved success, it is not the version that they thought they would and as glamorous as they thought they would. And so it's not about, you know, telling you that success is bad and that you shouldn't be aiming for success. Like, of course you should, and of course you can. It's not a should. But it's also understanding what comes with it so that we can prepare ourselves and be better performers, be more, you know, have more preparation, like mental preparation, know how to handle some situations, how to stand out for yourself. This is the important part of becoming successful. It's the same thing with people selling you the dream, like the $1 million lifestyle. And I've known it because I've been inside of this industry of you're going to become a millionaire in 3 months and in a year or whatever, and it's always the person that is selling this dream to you that is going to become this version, not because they have the secret, but because they are selling you this version that doesn't exist. And so a lot of people will use people's desires and dreams in order to make a profit for their lifestyle, for who they are, for what they want in life. And this is about understanding when someone genuinely have, you know, your best values at heart, and when someone is just benefiting. When it's too much and when it's like, oh, I'm going to make you a millionaire and you will see all your dreams will become like true and all that stuff, all those high promises are not like a reality and are sketchy and fishy, because someone who will genuinely want your best interest at heart doesn't need to sell you a big promise. It will be about you trusting yourself and them being the guide and all that stuff. Of course, you can get mentors and all, but it's different. And we saw that in the content creator industry too, about the fact that, you know, so many people went viral and then actually never seen that much success for their entire life, because it's just based on instant gratification and it's just based on, you know, instant virality, but it's not based on prior work. Success and real success that comes from, you know, your values and who you want to actually be and what you want doesn't come and doesn't stem from you being an overnight thing. It's about the durability, it's about the satisfaction that you feel when success do come, if it does come. But it's a hella slow process for most people. And this is the thing that I want to have more conversations on, is how can you handle not getting the success that you want ASAP? How can you handle having discussions from, you know, people who don't really believe in you yet, but you believing in yourself even though you don't have the evidence of it actually working right now? And this is the difference between someone who will have a fast success but no real durability, and this will be the difference between someone who may have success 10 years later, but do have the durability and do have the process of I'm going to get there no matter what, which is different. If we take an example, again, an artist that did that, Sabrina Carpenter, who actually went from, you know, she was known. She has been known for quite a while. A lot of people listen to her music, and she was also an actor before, like maybe 10, 15 years. I don't really know. She's been in the game. You know, she was there. And since she was little, she always been a performer. Like, she made YouTube video, I believe, and she sang and she did all those stuff since she was very little. But the moment that really made her like this overnight success was last year. And as we can see, it's not an overnight success. It took 10 years, maybe even more. But people will see it as an overnight success. People who don't really know her and who've started to know her maybe last year and will be like, okay, I feel like, you know, she just got there. Like Doechii is another example of someone who's worked a lot and had a slow progress for a long time, but 1 to 2 years ago really went big. And it doesn't mean that they didn't have success before. They did. But in terms of like external success and external validation of them getting, you know, awards and acclamation, all that stuff, and validation, it happened last year mostly, and this year too. This was their biggest moments, even though they were already in the game and they were already like making improvements and becoming better and becoming bigger and bigger. But the moment they exploded, and this is when we talk about overnight success, it's just like, it's this accumulation of small wins and again and again and again, and a small win there and a small win there and an improvement there and there. And this is when at the moment it explodes because of all the little things that you added up. And so when it adds up, this is the moment where things click and everything aligns, and now you have your big breakthrough. But it doesn't happen for everyone in the same way. It took them 10 years. We say a lot that, you know, artists have their big breakthrough like 10 years. Every 10 years you have a new artist that kind of, you know, after 10 years of work became this moment and this global sensation. But it's actually long-term achievement, long-term progress, long-term commitment that actually made them who they are today and the kind of level that they have of success. But if an other artist was comparing themselves to them and being like, I've been doing this for 10 years too, and I don't have the same level of success, they would never find satisfaction into what they were doing. Because there's a difference between, I want to compare for a performance-based perspective the level that they have of commitment, the level that they have of grind, and the level that they seem to have of, you know, doing the stuff and going after it, and dedication and belief and all that stuff, like the way that it seems. So because we don't know them, this is the difference. It could be different than, okay, I want the same level of success that they have, because you don't know what level of success they are on. Is it the level of success that they wish for? Is it really the level of success that they like? Is it a level of success that is satisfying for them or not? Like, there's a lot of things that we don't know about certain levels of success, and not everyone can have the same level of success. It's a small percentage of people that can have this A-list celebrity kind of level, and, you know, it doesn't happen to everyone, because if it did, then it wouldn't be this status. And so if you compare yourself and you're like, yeah, but I'm great too, but I don't have this level of success, then it means that I'm not that great, when it's just about the privileges that they can have, or that they had the opportunities of actually like, and when I say privileges, it can be of course like their ethnicity, it can be where they come from, it can be maybe they have this easiness about writing songs or things like that, or maybe they worked really hard and actually became amazing songwriters. Maybe they have this ability with their voice that was something that they always had. This is a privilege. But maybe they also worked really hard on, getting to that voice and getting to that, excellence, of course. But they also had a lot of support. And when I mean they, I don't mean just Sabrina and Doji. I mean like most of the people that you see out there, they've had now like support and people. When you see like the movies that they make, like the clips that they made and all that stuff, they have like big teams and this costs big money. And so of course they have people, helping them behind the scenes. And so those are the things that not everyone gets and not everyone have. And sometimes you get all of that and you still are not going to get to where they are. And sometimes it's just a question of luck because something clicked at the moment it needed to click. And sometimes it seems like everything clicks and then it doesn't. And it doesn't mean all the time something about us, and this is the difference between, I'm seeking for inner validation, but I know that, external validation is important because as human beings, this is how we roll and this is life. But also knowing that it doesn't mean anything about you and it doesn't mean that you should always question yourself all the time because you're not yet where you are. But it's just because all of it is an illusion, and that the illusion of what success looks like is made to look like something so perfect and so amazing and so stuff when it's not that great. And some people actually do like to not be this big pop star and just be a singer that just gets to live from their craft. Just like some people don't want to have, a business that has hundreds of employees and makes billions of dollars just because they have to make billions of dollars, and you have to handle all of that. And it's a lot to handle too. It's not just a sexy thing, it's a lot. And so, yeah, all of those things is just creating a lot of cognitive dissonances. And we need to understand that because then we get into this thing of I'm feeling a lot of frustration and of self-doubt because this person actually like got the success they wanted in 3 months and I've been there for like 10 years and I'm still not there or whatever. But we don't know a lot of the things that went behind the scenes. We don't know some of the situations and context that happens. And so if we only like compare our successes to just externally what it looks like, then it will never feel satisfying enough. Even when you get to a certain level of performance and success, it will still not feel enough. And this is just how human beings work. And this is where you need to work on your inner level of self that is able to feel satisfaction no matter how big or small the successes are, so that you can actually get better at it. When we are constantly told to show off our wins, often to the point of overselling them and overselling how quick and how easy it was, this is where we lose the authenticity of what success is supposed to look like. And this is where we, as a society, lose the reality side of success. And so this is called the performance of success, actually. And this is a concept that was developed by the sociologist Erwin Goffman. And so in his work on the presentation of self, he suggests that most people will always present themselves in a way that will mostly be received by others. And so often we are going to construct an image that may not align with the reality. And so in the concept of success, individuals and brands are often exaggerating their achievements and the speed at which they actually attain them. And so this creates an hyper-real narrative where the process of growth and failure and learning is obscured. And so you only get the glamorous and the instant result side of the story, which is not the full story. Everyone knows, I think, that there's a gap between what you see online and the reality. But there's a difference between knowing it and actually experimenting it. Because for someone who's been behind the scenes of a lot of people who are suggesting a millionaire life or a perfect dream life, it doesn't happen the way most people show it. And this is just how the internet works. Again, can we criticize those people when it's just them doing what the system is teaching them to do? I guess not, And this is why I believe that, more and more people actually understand what it means to dissect the false narrative that people are trying to ingrain into our lives or into our mind. So I see more and more people kind of exposing influencers, and as an example, like exposing brands or exposing whatever individual about the fake lifestyle that they are trying to, sell you. But there's also less people who are obsessing about luxury. And so as an example, there's been, people like Jeffree Star or Kylie Jenner who were exhilarating a lot of wealth, not in a way of them, just living their life, but in a way of showing off that, do not get as much clout as they used to have, because people are kind of getting bored of this narrative of, I'm hyper successful because I own a lot of luxurious stuff, when it doesn't mean anything. You also have people who are not successful in life, but they still have luxurious things. And you do have people who are very successful in life and do not own any of that. So all the materialistic ways of succeeding are things that are based on, again, illusion and just a system and just capitalism. And again, capitalism doesn't have to be a bad thing for everyone. And so the thing is that this culture fosters the idea that success is something that can be achieved by saying the right things and doing the right things, and that if you follow this plan, you will have the same kind of success as me, when the only reason why they had success in the first place is because they try to sell and to sell you this idea and this conception of success, and this idea that they have a plan for success when they don't really have one. And so this is the difference that I see being in this field and being in this industry, is that showing off doesn't mean anything when it comes to succeeding in this field, and that you don't need to actually have all the right strategies and all the right plan and all the right things to say and ways of being so that you're going to be successful or whatever, when it's just a question of context and circumstances. Success is just situation and circumstances adding up. And the more you get yourself into circumstances and situations and opportunities that, get and that are aligned with the vision that you have and with what you want, of course, it's going to add up. But so it's not this one thing that is going to make everything succeed. Like, as an example, the strategy in itself is not the thing that is going to make you successful, or that is going to make the project or the career or your life be a success. It's all the little things that are going to add up. It's the consistency that you're using this strategy. It's you understanding and tweaking this strategy that is going to, add up. It's the algorithm maybe favoring you, so it's going to add up. It's people talking about you, you talking about the things and doing the things and all that stuff. And so it's going to add up again and again and again. And then it can take years before it actually collects and clicks and be like, okay, now we've had enough adding up. Now this is the moment. And sometimes for other people it takes 10 years, as I said. Sometimes for other people it takes 15. It doesn't matter that they have the right strategies or not. Like, of course, if we take again the example of Sabrina Carpenter, she had everything she needed to be successful as fuck. But it took her still 10 years, because it's just about the circumstances and the right mix of everything she's learned for 10 years and all the people she gathered around and all of that actually all the connections that she's made in 10 years and all that stuff. And now she is the success that she is because of all this adding up. Not because she had the best strategies out of all of them, but because it all added up. And so it was just a question of the right moment. That was just the moment it was supposed to happen. She couldn't know if it was the right moment or not. It was just like me experimenting again and again, failing and getting back up and doing it again and getting frustrated and starting again and doing and persevering. That made her being able to do what she always wanted to do. And so those who sustain success, because it's one thing to be successful once, but it's another thing to actually be someone who's continuously keeping that success something that is, going up and up and up. It demands to have solid foundations, and solid foundation takes time to build. And so it's most of the time countless years of work and unnoticed work, failure, rejection, persistence, perseverance, of doubt and trust and stubbornness. I believe you need stubbornness to actually go and keep going when something isn't working. So being stubborn is a good thing in this field and in the process of getting what you want or getting the results or achieving something in your life. Sometimes it's just about that too. But the self-made success trope feeds into the belief that, success is about individual gain and individual pursuit, and you should be the only person that I succeeded alone without anyone and whatever, when it doesn't happen. You don't succeed by yourself. It's not something that can exist. You succeed because people buy from you. You succeed because people listen to you, because people believe in you, because people follow you, or because you find the right opportunities with the right people or with the wrong people. And sometimes this is where you learn, like, success is not something that is like self-made and that you don't need anyone, because then this is when people kind of feel like they can't ask for help and they can't get guidance and share with others what happened and what went wrong and what went right and all that stuff. And of course, there's a lot of it that is tied to how you did it and who you are and whatever and all that stuff. But we also, again, have context and circumstances and privileges. The external world do have an impact in the way that you're going to succeed. Where you grew up, what you are watching the most, who you are watching the most, who you are connecting the most with, and who you hate, who you love. And so the thing is that this culture kind of like foster the idea that success is something that can be achieved by saying the right things and doing the right things, and that if you follow this plan you will have the same kind of success as me, when the only reason why they had success in the first place is because they try to sell you this idea and this conception of success, and this idea that they have a plan for success when they don't really have one. And so this is the difference that I see being in this field and being in this industry, is that showing off doesn't mean anything when it comes to succeeding in this field, and that you don't need to actually have all the right strategies and all the right plan and all the right things to say and ways of being so that you're going to be successful or whatever, when it's just a question of context and circumstances. Success is just situation and circumstances adding up. And the more you get yourself into circumstances and situations and opportunities that, get and that are aligned with the vision that you have and with what you want, of course it's going to add up. But so it's not this one thing that is going to make everything succeed. Like, as an example, the strategy in itself is not the thing that is going to make you successful, or that is going to make the project or the career or your life be a success. It's all the little things that are going to add up. It's the consistency that you're using this strategy. It's you understanding and tweaking this strategy that is going to, add up. It's the algorithm maybe favoring you, so it's going to add up. It's people talking about you, you talking about the things and doing the things and all that stuff. And so it's going to add up again and again and again. And then it can take years before it actually collects and clicks and be like, okay, now we've had enough adding up. Now this is the moment. And sometimes for other people it takes 10 years, as I said. Sometimes for other people it takes 15. It doesn't matter that they have the right strategies or not. Like, of course, if we take again the example of Sabrina Carpenter, she had everything she needed to be successful as fuck, but it took her still 10 years, because it's just about the circumstances and the right mix of everything she's learned for 10 years, and all the people she gathered around and all of that actually all the connections that she's made in 10 years and all that stuff. And now she is the success that she is because of all this adding up. Not because she had the best strategies out of all of them, but because it all added up. And so it was just a question of the right moment. That was just the moment it was supposed to happen. She couldn't know if it was the right moment or not. It was just like me experimenting again and again, failing and getting back up and doing it again, and getting frustrated and starting again and doing and persevering. That made her being able to do what she always wanted to do. And so those who sustain success, because it's one thing to be successful once, but it's another thing to actually be someone who's continuously keeping that success something that is, going up and up and up. It demands to have solid foundations, and solid foundation takes time to build. And so it's most of the time countless years of work and unnoticed work, failure, rejection, persistence, perseverance, of doubt and trust and stubbornness. I believe you need stubbornness to actually go and keep going when something isn't working. So being stubborn is a good thing in this field and in the process of getting what you want or getting the results or achieving something in your life. Sometimes it's just about that too. But the self-made success trope feeds into the belief that, success is about individual gain and individual pursuit, and, you should be the only person that, I succeeded alone without anyone and whatever, when it doesn't happen. you don't succeed by yourself. You succeed because people buy from you. You succeed because people listen to you, because people believe in you, because people follow you, or because you find the right opportunities with the right people or with the wrong people. And sometimes this is where you learn, like, success is not something that is like self-made and that you don't need anyone, because then this is when people kind of feel like they can't ask for help and they can't get guidance and share with others what happened and what went wrong and what went right and all that stuff. And of course, there's a lot of it that is tied to how you did it and who you are and whatever, and the external world do have an impact in the way that you're going to succeed. Where you grew up, what you are watching the most, who you are watching the most, who you are connecting the most with. We are a species that do love communication and connections. Like, we do love connections as humans. And so it's not a weakness to ask for help and to, work with others and collaborate with others in order for you to get better and to grow differently. And so even when we think about, the idea of success, like, why was it created? I think it was created because we wanted people to, have a common objective. And so, of course, you have the American dream in America, and you have, different ways of, success needs to be and how it's supposed to look like. And most of the time it's materialistic because it's based on dominance. It's based on who is better than who. This is why we have some people who are at the top of, the list of who's the richer and who has the most properties and who has the most like money when it comes to their businesses and all that stuff. And it's always about that. And so success isn't tied to just like how you feel and what you feel about success, but it's tied to how you show your success. And so it's made for that. But I think that when we uncover what success looks like for us, it doesn't always have to look like what most people show us or what most people try to tell us success is supposed to be and whatever. It can be aligned with exactly what we want. It can be aligned with social status and all that stuff, but it can also be aligned with just creating meaning. Success for me is about creating meaning, no matter in what. Like, sometimes it's creating meaning in the way that I make my money. It's creating meaning in the way that I dispose of my money, creating meaning in the relationship that I have, in the career that I have, in the videos that I make. This is always about meaning for me. Like, what does it mean for me? Like, how does it feel? So it's about what feels right for you. Sometimes it's about contributing to something that feels larger than yourself. Sometimes it's about actually being more alone and being more in your bubble and in your little self. It's about having a deep connection to what you do and to how you do things. But when you find fulfillment in what you do and through your work or through your passion or through the way you are getting things done, this is when you experience accomplishment. Because I don't know if I said that in another video, but what we are seeking for is accomplishment. We want to feel and be accomplished. We want people to see how we've been able to accomplish those things, and we are like so excited about helping others accomplish the same. Sometimes this is like this moment where we want to build this collectiveness and we want to grow as a collective, and this is how I've made this happen, and this is how I've grown, and this is how I felt and all that stuff, and this is why we want to share. Sometimes we share because we just want people to clap at us and be like, yay, this is great. And sometimes we just want to share because we want to feel like an authority and whatever. There's always a meaning behind what we do, and sometimes it's one that serves us, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it serves others, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it only serves us. But I guess success is just something that feels like and looks like you. But the accomplishment and the feeling of I have accomplished something feels bigger than just wealth and material and anything else could replicate, because this sense of like I've made it is strictly something that you can sense or not, and that not everyone senses it. And sometimes people sense it too late, like when they've had their big moments, and sometimes their big moment stops. They're like, oh my god, this was the moment where I've made it and I didn't even realize it because I was too much in my grind, I was too much in my thing and too much in my head. And sometimes it's the moment where you have to take a step back and be like, wow, all of the things that I've accomplished and the person that I am today maybe sucks, or maybe it's even better than who I was last year or whatever. But accomplishment looks like really differently for everyone. Sometimes people want to collect stones, like they want to collect all of the little accomplishments, and so they have like so many hobbies and they meet so many people and they try so many things because this is how they feel accomplished. Like they want to try pottery and they want to try making videos and they want to try getting on races and they want to try writing a book and they want to try every single thing that happens being a singer, and this is how they really collect their accomplishments. Sometimes it's creating different brands and creating different businesses. Sometimes it can be how many people can I impact and how many people can I help, and this is when I say sometimes it's a big accomplishment and sometimes it's small accomplishments, and the more you look and see and acknowledge the small accomplishments and the accomplishments that doesn't look as big as the big one that you're looking for, the more you feel fulfilled and the more you are eager and excited to get to where you want to get, and that you're not frustrated because it's not there yet. And yeah, I guess this is where we get to be ourselves, because at the end, success is strictly subjective. Success is not made to be objective. It's really not. And so, yeah, it does look different for everyone. It gets to evolve. Our vision of success gets to evolve. Our definition of it evolves. I know that I saw success and how it was supposed to feel and be like and look like when I just started to, write my own definition of what is success and what it is not, and why do I want to feel this type of success and not this type and whatever. But yeah, it's a lot of reflection. It's a lot of self-acceptance. Since everyone's success is different, the way to get there is also different. So yeah, if I want to leave with one thing, is this: everyone's success is different for everyone. So stop looking at this person's and trying to replicate their success. Please create your own. Like, honestly, doesn't matter how long, doesn't matter how, create your own and stop believing that someone else's success is repeatable, because it's not made to be repeatable. It's made to be yours. And this is when you create a type of success that no one else has, or that is like just unbelievable or amazing for you, and that makes sense for you because you create it for yourself and you're not trying to fit into the definition of what success is to someone else because you don't need it. So yeah, thank you again for watching. If this is your first video, I hope that it was great for you. If this is not your first video, thank you for watching again, and I will see you in another one. Make sure to follow, like, share, do what you want. I always like those little conversations that I have with myself and my camera, but at the end, it's postponed. You can hear my conversation later, and this is fun. And then we get to have conversations for real in the comments and stuff like that. And so, yeah, have a great day, have a great night. I'll see you soon. Bye.